Well, hello everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Welcome back to Before the Four. I'm Digital Host and happy Monday. I know we are always dreading Mondays starting off the week, but I hope to bring a little bit of joy to your Monday afternoon. And if you're new to Before the Four, thank you so much for watching today. This is just a little live stream where I talk about 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. You could be watching on YouTube, Facebook, or the 48 Now live stream. And wherever you're watching today, thank you so much for watching and spending a bit of your Monday afternoon here with me. Now, with all that said, we have quite a bit to jump into today, so let's just go ahead and start things off. And of course, starting things off in DeKalb County, 2 people are dead after what officials are calling a murder-suicide in the Mentone area Friday night. Now this, according to the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office is expected to release more details regarding this incident later on this afternoon. As of now, the victims in this murder-suicide have not been identified, but 48 Savannah Sap is working today to learn more details on this situation coming up in our evening newscast. And now, jumping over to just the Tennessee Valley in general, over the past few days, we've been seeing an uptick in structure fires here in North Alabama. Now, including 3 in Huntsville, 1 this morning on Clapton Street, 1 overnight on Fairmont Drive, and 1 Sunday morning on Oakmont Avenue. The latter has left a dozen people displaced. And 48's Daquan Lee has the details on that fire. Take a look.
It was scary. It was scary, and we cannot even breathe because smoke too heavy.
Early Sunday morning, 2 homes on Oakmont Avenue were seriously damaged in a fire. The fire began at one home, then quickly spread to the other just after 2 a.m. That's according to Muhammad Ali, who was alerted to the fire by his grandson.
This is amazing. We stay alive. This is a big deal. We didn't care about no insurance, no money, no nothing. We care about our life. That's it.
This is video provided to us by Ali's son. You can see the intense flames, power lines zapping, hell on earth for this family. Only their kitchen and garage were left intact, while the rest of their home was lost in the blaze. But everyone got out okay. Listen in as Ali recalls the moment he realized it was time to evacuate his home.
So we opened the window, almost the fire come close to our face. And then we get out. When we get out, we see big fire. I call 911. Thanks God, and God bless America, and God bless the fire department. Like 3 minutes, they was already here. So they take care of the fire like 10 minutes maybe.
So far, we haven't received official word from Huntsville Fire and Rescue, so it's unknown just how many people were displaced from both homes as a result of this fire. The cause of the fire also remains unknown. Ali also says he received support from the American Red Cross and thankfully remains in good spirits.
Red Cross, they come to help us. They help us. They do everything for us. They bring food, they bring water, they do everything for us. Yeah, thank you, Red Cross.
He says his family will be staying with his son for the time being. Reporting in Huntsville, Daquan Lee, 48 on your side.
Very sad situation there. Thank you, Daquan. And 48's Callie Neese will be following up on the uptick in fires we've been seeing recently here across the Tennessee Valley coming up in our evening newscasts. But now let's turn over to the weather. We saw some rain over the weekend, and here in Huntsville, a quite cloudy day all day until as of late. But let's check in with 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis for a look at how the weather might shape up for the rest of the week.
Well, a really nice break this afternoon. It's still technically mostly cloudy, but we've got some sunshine coming through, and it's warmer. Finally, feels more like the 80s out there, but it's only the mid to upper 60s. We'll take it. We'll see the 60s overnight tonight as well, and more showers, a few thunderstorms. Kind of a look around the valley right now. Here are those temperatures. Most of us in the mid, if not upper 60s out there. Decatur 67, same as the Shoals, just before 4 o'clock. Now, as we get later this evening, it's probably going to be more after 6, 7 o'clock, even 8 o'clock. We start to see these isolated showers, a few thunderstorms a possibility too, now that we've got a little bit more instability to work with temperatures in the 60s and a little bit more energy out there too. We're going to see these scattered showers and storms kind of lift north throughout the overnight hours. We are not expecting any severe weather. And as we go through the morning hours tomorrow, we're going to see one last little band of showers and a few thunderstorms coming through roughly between 8 a.m. and I would call it about the noon hour. And then we start to dry out. The front starts moving in, the winds shift to the northwest, and then it turns quite a bit colder. Over the next 3 days, we go back to winter temperatures. Wednesday, it'll be breezy and colder all the way down to 26 Wednesday night. So AJ, another roller coaster ride, but at least we've been able to enjoy the warmer temperatures today, and we'll see them tomorrow too.
Thank you, Brad. And I definitely will be enjoying them before it gets really cold again. That is for sure. But now an update that came in earlier today regarding the suspect involved in last week's assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Authorities say they now have a 26-year-old man in custody. The man by the name of Luigi Mangione was found inside a Pennsylvania McDonald's. Mangione is now the person of interest involved in that shooting. He was taken into custody in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And speaking of that assassination, the killing has sparked a conversation on healthcare here in America. 48's Nick Ballinger recently spoke with local injury attorney Hunter Garnett and several at Thrive, Alabama on the current state of healthcare. Take a listen.
The assassination of the United Healthcare CEO on Wednesday is sparking questions online, like, do insurance companies care about you?
You have to remember that insurance companies are in the business of making money. And at the end of the day, they do some things that include putting their policyholders and innocent victims in jeopardy in order to make a little bit more money.
Local attorney Hunter Garnett deals with insurance agencies almost every day. He cites the phrase written on the gunman's shell casings to share common insurance tactics: deny, delay, defend.
They deny payment, okay? They deny coverage. And then the next thing they do is they delay payment, they delay coverage as long as they can.
But when you can't deny or delay medical treatment any longer, customers could be left paying a deductible they can't afford. That's what Thrive Alabama's CEO Elizabeth Marr says she sees every day.
It happens more often than you would think. We're living in a society where you would think that this is like a third world country kind of problem.
When you have somebody on a fixed income that has an $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 deductible, they can't really afford to take that out of pocket to be able to pay for their health care.
It happened recently to one of Matthew Foster's clients at Thrive. A woman was diagnosed with cancer and realized her insurance company, United Healthcare, requires her to pay an upward of $10,000 deductible.
She did not know how that she would be able to afford her care that she needed.
Foster says he was able to find the woman free care under the Affordable Care Act to hopefully save her life, picking up the pieces where United Healthcare left them.
Well, thank you, Nick. And now moving over to Morgan County, a Hartselle chiropractor charged with attempted murder for allegedly poisoning his wife will no longer have to turn himself into jail on the weekends. Instead, the court will allow Brian Mann, who you're seeing on screen, to be free on bond as long as he wears an ankle monitor. Mann is expected to be fitted for the ankle monitor later today. On Wednesday, he will be given a list of locations he cannot be within a mile of. And after that happens, he won't have anyone to turn himself into jail anymore. Mann was arrested and charged with attempted murder back in 2022 for over a year. Mann had been free on bond during the week with the condition he turns himself into jail every weekend. Now, we shall head to break, but coming up after the break, we'll go through the latest comments from former President-elect Donald Trump, some tips to avoid getting scammed this holiday season, and a heartwarming story you're just not going to want to miss. It is all ahead. I'll see you all in 1 minute. Well, hello and welcome back to Before the Four. Now a story, in case you missed it, from 48's Callie Neese. The holiday season is now in full swing, and that means a lot of scams are also going around. Callie Neese is on your side with how to avoid getting scammed this holiday season. Take a listen.
Leaders from the Better Business Bureau of North Alabama want to caution consumers when shopping this holiday season, especially when scrolling through social media.
It's been a huge problem where legitimate companies have been impersonated on social media.
The holiday countdown has begun, and so has your window for shopping. Karen Reeves from the Better Business Bureau of North Alabama wants consumers to know that not everything is what it seems on social media.
Social media is a huge place that scammers love because we all love social media. We're on there all the time. So as a general rule, I would say if you see an ad on there, you see something you're interested in, we encourage folks don't click on it there. Go outside of social media, go directly to that website.
Reeves said that these scammers may be selling counterfeit items or possibly nothing at all and are just trying to steal some of your holiday budget. But these are not the only scams she says to be on the lookout for.
Online shipping scams, that's big this time of year.
She says scammers know you're expecting packages this time of year and they will try to take advantage of you. She says it starts with a text message about the shipment of your product. This message will either say they do not have enough information to ship your product or that your payment was incomplete and they cannot ship your product until you make a full payment.
I will tell you, when you've made a purchase and you know you're going to have something shipped, those fees are there. You pay ahead of time for those. So there's your red flag right there with that situation.
For more on how to avoid being scammed this holiday season, visit our website, WAFF.com. Reporting in Huntsville, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
Definitely good to know. Thank you so much, Callie. But now on Saturday, dozens in the Huntsville community gathered to put up a historical marker to commemorate the life and legacy of a man who was just lynched when he was 16 years old. 48's Daquan Lee with more details.
Behind me is the marker for Robert Mosley. He was just 16 years old when he was lynched, and his body was found about a half mile from where this marker now stands. The Equal Justice Initiative believes he was one of 10 victims in Madison County who were lynched, and the goal is to give every one of them a marker just like this. And today was a chance to honor Mosley's life. Saturday, dozens got together just off of Higdon Road in Huntsville to unveil a historic marker for Robert Mosley. He was accused of outrage of modesty, the same type of accusation made against Emmett Till. The marker was made in collaboration with the Madison County Remembrance Project and the Equal Justice Initiative.
Our objective is to try to commemorate all of those lives. So we hope to be able to see markers installed in the proximity of those events over the course of the next several years.
Carl Cooney Jr. is a member of the Prince Hall Masons of Alabama. He says one of his fellow members, Eric Wade, was instrumental in getting the marker where it is. He also noted the importance of making sure this dark history gets told.
What happened here and other places around Huntsville, it was wrong. Simply put, it was a bad spot on our American history. However, each one that we remember, each one that we commemorate places us a step further as a country and garners more togetherness.
Though the project is complete, Person says getting the marker to where it is was no simple task.
It's the culmination of 7 years of hard work for something that we think has enormous value, something that we believe will not only document a horrible historic occurrence, but something that will also give us an opportunity as a community to reckon with these kinds of evils, hopefully in a way that will prevent them from happening in the future to anybody.
Reporting in Huntsville, Daquan Lee, 48 on your side.
Thank you, Daquan. And now in Jackson County, let me find this story for you all. Bear with me 1 second. Yes. And well, Actually, we're going to move on now to a bit of national politics. Let's turn to President-elect Trump's exclusive interview with NBC's Kristen Welker on Meet the Press. Kristen gives us a complete rundown of what they discussed, and let's take a listen.
Have you thought about your message? We began our conversation with President-elect Trump on the economy and his threat to impose tariffs on America's three biggest trading partners, Mexico, Canada, and China, which experts warn could lead to a surge in prices. Can you guarantee American families won't pay more?
I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow. I'm a big believer in tariffs. I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich.
The president-elect is standing by one of his key campaign promises, saying he has no choice but to deport everyone who is illegally in the United States. You've talked about prioritizing people who have criminal histories.
Correct.
But is it your plan to deport everyone who is here illegally over the next 4 years?
Well, I think you have to do it. And it's a very tough thing to do. But you have to have, you have rules, regulations, laws. They came in illegally.
The president-elect also vowed to end birthright citizenship, a right that's guaranteed by the 14th Amendment.
We're going to end that because it's ridiculous.
Mr. Trump did say he's open to finding a way to protect dreamers, those brought illegally to the U.S. as children and raised here.
I think we can work with the Democrats and work something out.
Asked about members of the January 6th committee, the president-elect argued they should be imprisoned without any evidence that they violated the law.
Honestly, they should go to jail.
So you think Liz Cheney should go to jail?
For what they did.
Everyone on the committee, you think?
I think everybody anybody that voted in favor.
Are you going to direct your FBI director and your attorney general to send them to jail?
No, not at all. I think that they'll have to look at that, but I'm going to focus on drill, baby, drill.
In a statement, Liz Cheney, the Republican vice chair of the January 6th committee, denounced Mr. Trump's threat as a, quote, assault on the rule of law and the foundations of our republic. The president also said he is looking to pardon people convicted for their actions on January 6th.
Well, thank you. And now we're going to head back to a local story for you all in Jackson County, where deputies are getting nearly $400,000 for new equipment. 48 Savannah Sapp has all the details for you. Check it out.
Roughly $380,000 is being poured into new equipment for Jackson County deputies.
And this is one of the many pieces of equipment obtained by the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. This specific side-by-side will be used for many reasons, like to patrol the jail and assist in the more rural rescues.
We've got 6 seats in this thing, so if we find somebody that's stranded or several people that are stranded, we can actually bring several people up the mountain if we locate them.
Sheriff Rocky Harnan also says the Polaris Ranger will help navigate the more treacherous areas of the county.
So we have so many rural areas. There are times when we do search warrants or arrests in rural areas, down dirt roads, up in the mountains at cabins and things such as that we have to get to. We can't get vehicles to them.
And speaking of vehicles, the department is set to receive a new boat which will be used for water rescues. A grant from the Department of Justice will also pay for new patrol vehicles.
This particular grant allows us to buy 5 patrol vehicles and is desperately needed. We've actually had 2 accidents in the last week that has made us really short on vehicles right now.
And Harnan says these new additions will help his department become less dependent on other agencies.
So I think we should be able to respond to any situation by ourselves, stand alone, and not have to depend on anybody. We do depend on people. We depend on our rescue squads, our fire departments, other law enforcement officers. But we want to be as self-sufficient as possible, and these pieces of equipment are going to help us do that.
In Scottsboro, Savannah Sapp, 48 News, on your side.
Well, very cool. Thank you, Savannah. Now, a really inspiring story for your Monday afternoon. When trauma leads to addiction, homelessness can follow. But one Nashville man was one of the invisible ones, sleeping under bridges. At one point, he'd tell you he was the face of addiction, but now he considers himself the face of recovery. Local News Live's Marius Payton shares his story.
For people who say homelessness could never happen to them,
there isn't a street, a major thoroughfare or a corner in Nashville that I can't have a bad memory about wandering.
Meet Christopher Jones, a graduate of UT Knoxville with a double major.
I'll never forget I had been wearing the same pair of underwear for 2 weeks.
For 2 years during COVID, he lived in his car and under bridges, the streets of Nashville, his home.
How many people were here?
I'd say maybe 6/10. You know, it's kind of you hung out with the people you could trust.
2 traumatic events thrust Jones and his little girl Zoe into this life.
I guess I finalized my divorce on a Friday, and I buried my dad on a Saturday or a Sunday.
He turned to drugs, cocaine and meth to hide the pain while they slept in his car.
Watching her have to go to the gas station to wash up and go to school. No, it's not going to happen again. So
after a little while, family took Zoe in, but Christopher remained on the streets, working odd jobs to get by and battling his demons. That is, until he met a woman from his past.
And I remember her saying, "Aren't you Pastor Curtis Jones' son?" And it was the first time in my 2 years out here that somebody recognized me.
That woman fed, clothed, and took Christopher to rehab. He stayed for 3.5 months at Place of Hope.
And that's when I reconnected with the God of my understanding and started my road to recovery.
Jones no longer works for daily wages. He's now doing something he's always dreamed of.
We're talking about payroll.
Working with airplanes as a commercial aircraft quality engineer.
Every part, every material, every hose, every bolt, we trace who makes it. They have their own quality standards. We inspect that before it even comes into our facility.
His relationship with his daughter, thriving.
My daughter called me from the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga on a full scholarship 2 days ago, saying she lost her key. And I'm able to pay $140 out of my pocket in order to cover the cost. Things like this are blessings to me.
Another unseen blessing?
Every interstate overpass has a trail near it. There's a community down there, and I will never not be able to notice that. I was the invisible person. That unique experience for me is something that, while I wasn't grateful for it then, I'm certainly grateful for the person it's made me now.
Such an inspiring story there. Thank you so much. But now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. One Shoal city working to improve its water system. 48's Aria Ponce will have more details on that coming up. Another story you're just not going to want to miss. Details on a brand new fire truck coming to one North Alabama city. And finally, a crayon drive for children in hospitals. These are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And now it is about that time. And before we jump into Facebook fun, I saw that there is a comment on today's Before the Four. Cecilia, I hope you're having a great day, a great Monday afternoon. Thank you so much for commenting, and for anyone who's watching right now, feel free to leave a comment if you so feel led to, or you can answer our 48 Facebook question of the day. And that, of course, is what TV show have you rewatched the most? And you all had some really good comments. It was honestly hard to choose 3 to 5 of my favorite comments today, just because there were so many good ones and a lot of very different comments for sure. I can tell you all are big TV fans, that is for sure. But let's see what you all had to say. One person said Seinfeld, and that is honestly, one of the greatest shows there is. I mean, it is hilarious. I grew up watching it with my parents. My parents are big Seinfeld fans, and that is an awesome show. Thank you so much for commenting. Will, he said the Andy Griffith Show. That is another classic. I grew up watching that with my parents as well. Awesome show there. Thank you so much for commenting. And yeah, without the Andy Griffith Show, TV would just not be the same, I don't think. That was just an awesome, wholesome show there. Danny Harris said Gunsmoke. That is another iconic one. I will admit haven't watched a whole lot of Gunsmoke in my day, but Danny, you may have inspired me to start watching it. Thank you so much for commenting. Another person said Friends, and of course the Golden Girls. That is another really good one. Both of those shows are really good. Friends, that kind of goes back to the Seinfeld comment. I feel like you're either a Friends person or you are a Seinfeld person, but both of those shows are classics. Thank you so much for commenting. And then I Love Lucy. Of course, how can you go wrong with I Love Lucy? Another really wholesome show and just one of TV's greatest there has ever been. Cannot go wrong with I Love Lucy, that is for sure. But to everyone who commented today, thank you so much for commenting. And that is just about all she wrote for today's Before the Four. But I want to thank you all for sticking around and spending a bit of your Monday afternoon here on Before the Four. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the evening newscast. And as always, I have to thank you for watching. And as always, you all have a great night.